नमस्कार, मैं हूँ दृष्टि जैन एंड वेलकम टू दिस वीडियो सीरीज जिसका नाम है घटना सूत्र। इस वीडियो सीरीज में हम डिस्कस करेंगे ज्योग्राफी की एनसीईआरटी लेटेस्ट एडिशन फ्रॉम क्लास 6th टू क्लास 12th। हम फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी भी डिस्कस करेंगे और ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी भी डिस्कस करेंगे। इस पूरे वीडियो सीरीज में अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 30 to 35 लेक्चर्स होंगे जिसमें पूरी आपकी ज्योग्राफी की एनसीईआरटी कवर हो जाएगी। और एक वीडियो सीरीज में हम कंटेंट के साथ साथ पीवाईक्यूज भी देखेंगे, पीवाईक्यूज यूपीएससी के भी देखेंगे और स्टेट पीसीएस के भी देखेंगे। मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि आप सभी को ये वीडियो काफ़ी अच्छी तरीके से समझ आएगी, क्योंकि मेरा जो इन्वॉल्वमेंट है ना यूपीएससी के साथ काफ़ी लंबा है। मैंने यूपीएससी में 6 अटेम्प्ट्स दिए हुए हैं, उसमें 3 मेंस दिया हुआ है। मैंने फॉरेस्ट के मेंस लिखे हैं, 2 फॉरेस्ट का मेंस लिखा है और 2 फॉरेस्ट के इंटरव्यू दिए हुए हैं। तो मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप सभी को ये वीडियो लेक्चर काफ़ी पसंद आएगा, जिसमें मैं साथ साथ अंडरलाइन भी करते जाऊँगी और इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ें मार्क करते जाऊँगी। तो आप बस अपने सामने एनसीईआरटी की बुक रखिएगा, जो चीज़ हम पढ़ रहे हैं उसको ध्यान से पढ़िएगा और इसको बार बार रिविजन करते जाइएगा। तो चलो बिना लेट किए हम स्टार्ट करते हैं। सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड विद द घटना सूत्र वीडियो लेक्चर सीरीज। हेलो एस्पिरेंट्स, वेलकम टू द नेक्स्ट वीडियो ऑफ घटना सूत्र। अभी तक हमने ज्योग्राफी की क्लास 6, 7th और 8th की एनसीईआरटी पढ़ी। अब हम इस वीडियो में स्टार्ट करेंगे ज्योग्राफी क्लास 9th की एनसीईआरटी, जिसमें हम डील करेंगे पीवाईक्यूज को भी काफ़ी डिटेल में और अच्छे से मैप के लोकेशंस और अलग अलग चैप्टर्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट चैप्टर, दैट इज इंडिया साइज एंड लोकेशन। तो सबसे पहले हम इसका एक ओवरव्यू कर लेते हैं। इसमें हम इंडिया के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, उसके लोकेशन के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, लैटिट्यूड और लॉन्गिट्यूड पढ़ेंगे, उसका साइज पढ़ेंगे। उसके बाद हम देखेंगे कि इंडिया और वर्ल्ड को कंपेयर करेंगे साइज़ के हिसाब से। उसके बाद हम मैप के हिसाब से नॉर्थ साउथ और ईस्ट वेस्ट एक्सटेंशन देखेंगे। उसके बाद हम इंडिया के नेबर्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, कौन कौन से हमारे लैंड नेबर्स और कौन कौन से मैरी टाइम नेबर्स हैं। और इस तरीके से हमारा चैप्टर 1 यहाँ पे कंक्लूड होगा। ये काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है बट छोटा सा चैप्टर है। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट। India is one of the ancient civilizations in the world. It has achieved multifaceted socio-economic progress during the last 5 decades. It has moved forward, displaying remarkable progress in the field of agriculture, industry, technology, and overall economic development. India has also contributed significantly to the making of the world history. Location: India is a vast country. Lying entirely in the northern hemisphere, the mainland extends between latitudes 8 degrees 4 minutes north and 37 degrees 6 minutes north and longitudes 68 degrees 7 minutes east and 97 degrees 25 minutes east. The Tropic of Cancer, 23 degrees 30 minutes north, divides the country into almost 2 equal parts. To the southeast and the southwest of the mainland lie the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Lakshadweep Island in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea respectively. Find out the extent of these group of islands from your atlas. Do you know? The southernmost point of the Indian Union, Indira Point, got submerged under the sea water in 2004 during the tsunami. Upsize. The landmass of India has an area of 3.28 million square kilometer. India's total area accounts for about 2.4% of the total geographical area of the world. From the figure 1.2, it is clear that India is the 7th largest. कौन सा? 7th largest country. ये important है, ये हम highlight कर लेते हैं. 7th largest country in the world. India has a land boundary of about 15,200 kilometers and the total length of coastline of the mainland, including Andaman and Nicobar and the Lakshadweep, as 7615.6 kilometer. अब यहाँ पे हमने देखा कि पीवाईक्यू कितने बार आया हुआ है। देखो लोकेशन वाला पीवाईक्यू यूपीएससी 1997, 2007, 2004, यूपीपीसीएस 2002, 2007, 2009, 2011, बिहार पीसीएस 2001, 2002 और 2006 में आया हुआ है। वैसे ये इंदिरा पॉइंट के ऊपर यूपीपीसीएस 2008, 2009, बिहार पीसीएस 2001 और 2007 में पूछा जा चुका है, तो काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है। चलो अब हम नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ जहाँ पे हमने छोड़ा था। इंडिया इज बाउंडेड बाय द यंग फोल्ड माउंटेन्स इन द नॉर्थ वेस्ट, नॉर्थ एंड नॉर्थ ईस्ट. South of about 22 north latitude, it begins to taper and extend southwards to the Indian Ocean, dividing it into 2 seas, the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. Look at figure 1.3 and note that the latitudinal and the longitudinal extent of the mainland is about 30 degree. तो latitude और longitude दोनों का extent कितना है? 30 degree के आसपास. Despite this fact, the east-west extent appears to be smaller than the north-south extent. देखो बोलना ये चाह रहा है कि नॉर्थ साउथ और ईस्ट वेस्ट दोनों का डिग्री वाइज 30 डिग्री ही एक्सटेंट है, लेकिन जब हम देखते हैं तो ईस्ट वेस्ट एक्सटेंट हमको छोटा लगता है इन कंपैरिजन टू नॉर्थ साउथ एक्सटेंट. From Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, there is a time lag of about 2 hours. Hence, time along the standard meridian of India, 82 degree 30 minutes east, passing through Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh, is taken as the standard time for the whole country. The latitudinal extent influences the duration of the day and night as one moves from south to north. Next है India and the world. The Indian landmass has a central location between the East and the West Asia. India is a southward extension of the Asian continent. The Trans-Indian Ocean route, which connects the countries of Europe in the west and countries of East Asia, provide a strategic central location to India. Note that the Deccan Peninsula protrudes into the Indian Ocean, thus helping India to establish close contacts with West Asia, Africa, and Europe from the western coast and with Southeast Asia and East Asia from the eastern coast. No other country has a long coastline on the Indian Ocean as India has, and indeed, it is India's eminent position in the Indian Ocean which justifies the naming of ocean after it. अब do you know में देखिए. Since the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869, India's distance from Europe has been reduced by 7,000 kilometers. Important है. अब देखो ये जो ग्राफ बना हुआ है इसमें बताया गया है कि इंडिया कैसे 7th लार्जेस्ट कंट्री है. तो सबसे बड़ा है रशिया, फिर कनाडा, फिर यूएसए, फिर चाइना, फिर ब्राज़ील, फिर ऑस्ट्रेलिया, फिर इंडिया. उसका एरिया कितना है 3.28 मिलियन स्क्वायर किलोमीटर. ठीक है. अब ये एक बार ये वाला मैप देखो. इसमें क्वेश्चन यूपी पीसीएस 1998, 2004, उत्तराखंड पीसीएस 2003, 2005 में पूछा जा चुका है. फिर बिहार पीसीएस 2003 में, 2004 में और यूपी पीसीएस 2005 में. अब यही जो एक्सटेंट देखे थे ना, ये देखो ये मार्क किया गया है. तो नॉर्थ में है 37 डिग्री 6 मिनट्स, इधर नीचे साउथ में 6 डिग्री 4 मिनट्स, इधर वेस्ट में 68 डिग्री 7 मिनट्स और ईस्ट में 97 डिग्री 25 मिनट्स. और ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर देखो यहाँ से पास हो रही है बीच में से, और यहाँ से इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड टाइम. और लेंथ वाइज देखो ईस्ट वेस्ट एक्सटेंट है 2933 किलोमीटर और नॉर्थ साउथ एक्सटेंट है 3214 किलोमीटर्स. ठीक है. अभी ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स के अलग अलग रूट्स बता रहा है. अब हम नीचे आते हैं. India's contacts with the world have continued through the ages, but her relationship through the land routes are much older than her maritime contacts. The various passes across the mountains in the north have provided passages to the ancient travelers, while the oceans restricted such interaction for a long time. These routes have contributed in the exchange of ideas and commodities since the ancient times. The ideas of Upanishads and the Ramayana, the stories of Panchatantra, the Indian numerals and the decimal system thus could reach many parts of the world. The spices, muslin and the other merchandise were taken from India to different countries. On the other hand, the influence of Greek sculpture and the architectural styles of the dome and minarets from the West Asia can be seen in different parts of our country. India's neighbors. India occupies an important strategic position in South Asia. India has 28 states and 7 union territories. अब ये हो गए 28 states and 8 union territories. India shares land border with countries Pakistan and Afghanistan in northwest, China, Nepal and Bhutan in north, and Myanmar and Bangladesh in the east. Our southern neighbors across the sea consist of 2 island countries, namely कौन से country? Sri Lanka and Maldives. Sri Lanka is separated from India by a narrow channel of sea formed by the Park Strait and the Gulf of Mannar, while Maldives Islands are situated to the south of Lakshadweep Islands. India has had strong geographical and historical links with her neighbors. Look at the physical map of Asia in your atlas and note how India stands apart from the rest of Asia. अब यहाँ पे देखो, do you know me? Before 1947, there were 2 types of states in India: the provinces and the princely states. Provinces were ruled directly by the British officials who were appointed by the Viceroy. Princely states were ruled by local hereditary rulers who acknowledged sovereignty in return for local autonomy. ओके, इस तरीके से हमने अपना ये वाला चैप्टर खत्म किया, दैट इज चैप्टर 1. अब हम मूव ऑन करेंगे चैप्टर 2 की ओर, दैट इज फिजिकल फीचर्स ऑफ इंडिया. फिजिकल फीचर्स ऑफ इंडिया का हम एक बार ओवरव्यू देख लेते हैं. इसमें हम क्या क्या पढ़ने वाले हैं. इसमें हम एंशियंट टाइम्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे जब गोंडवाना लैंड और लॉरेशिया लैंड हुआ करता था. फिर हम मेजर जोग्राफिकल डिविजन्स देखेंगे जिसमें हम हिमालयन माउंटेन्स, नदर्न प्लेन्स, पेनिनसुलर प्लेट्यू, इंडियन डेजर्ट, कोस्टल प्लेन्स और आइलैंड्स के बारे में देखेंगे. और इन हर चीज़ों की एक एक डिटेल देखेंगे, अलग अलग मैप्स देखेंगे. इसके बाद हम डिफरेंस वगैरह देखेंगे अलग अलग टाइप के आइलैंड्स में, लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड, अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड में. और इस तरीके से हमारा चैप्टर 2 ख़त्म होगा. ये थोड़ा बड़ा चैप्टर है, इसमें थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा, बट हम आज स्टार्ट करते हैं इस चैप्टर को. और इसमें हम PYQs भी डील करेंगे. You have already learnt earlier that India is a vast country with varied landforms. What kind of terrain do we live in? If you live in the plains, you are familiar with the vast stretches of plain land. In contrast, if you live in hilly region, the rugged terrain with mountains and valleys are common features. In fact, our country has practically all major physical features of the earth, that is, mountains, plains, deserts, plateaus, and islands. You must be wondering how these physical features have been formed. We will learn more about major physical features of India and how they have been formed. We find different type of rocks. Some are very hard like marble, which are used for making Taj Mahal, and some are very soft like soapstone, which is used in making talcum powder. The color of soil varies from one place to other because soil is formed out of different type of rocks. Have you ever thought about the causes of these variations? Most of these variations are caused due to differences in the rock formations. India is a large landmass formed during the different geological periods which has influenced her relief. Besides geological formations, a number of processes such as weathering, erosion, and deposition have created and modified the relief to its present form. Earth scientists have attempted to explain the formation of physical features with the help of some theories based on certain evidences. One such plausible theory is the theory of plate tectonics. According to this theory, the crust upper part of the earth has been formed out of 7 major and some minor plates. The movement of these plates resulted in the building up of stresses within the plates and continental rocks above, leading to folding, faulting, and volcanic activity. Broadly, these plate movements are classified into 3 types. While some plates come towards each other and form convergent boundaries, some plates move away from each other and form divergent boundary. In the event of 2 plates coming together, they may either collide and crumble or may slide over one another. At times, they also move horizontally past each other and form transform boundary. The movement of these plates have changed the position and size of continents over millions of years. Such movements have also influenced the evolution of present landform features and relief of India. अब यहाँ पे देखो ये PYQ में पूछा गया है टाइप ऑफ प्लेट बाउंड्रीज UPPCS 2004 में, 2009 में और 2013 में. Do you know, most volcanoes and earthquakes in the world are located at the plate margins, but some do occur within the plates. The oldest landmass, the peninsula part, was a part of Gondwana land. The Gondwana land included India, Australia, South Africa, South America as one single landmass. The Gondwana land included India, Australia, South Africa and South America as one single landmass. The convectional current split the crust into a number of pieces, thus leading to the drifting of the Indo-Australian plate after being separated from the Gondwana land towards north. The northward drift resulted in the collision of the plate with a much larger duration plate. Due to this collision, the sedimentary rocks which are accumulated in the geosyncline known as the Tethys were unfolded to form the mountain system of the Western Asia and the Himalayas. The Himalayan uplift out of the Tethys Sea and the subsidence of the northern flank of the peninsular plateau resulted in the formation of a large basin. In due course of time, this depression gradually got filled with deposition of sediments by the rivers flowing from the mountains in the north and the peninsular plateau in the south. A flat land of extensive alluvial deposits led to the formation of the northern plains of India. अब Gondwana land है क्या? It is the southern part of the ancient supercontinent Pangaea with Angara land in the northern part. तो क्या है जो Pangaea था पुराना, तो उसमें ऊपर था Angara land और नीचे था Gondwana land. ठीक है? The land of India displays great physical variation. Geologically, the peninsular plateau constitutes one of the ancient land masses on the Earth's surface. It was supposed to be one of the most stable land blocks. The Himalayas and the northern plains are the most recent landforms. From the viewpoint of geology, Himalayan mountains form an unstable zone. The whole mountain system of Himalaya represents a very youthful topography with high peaks, deep valleys, and fast-flowing rivers. The northern plains are formed of alluvial deposits. The peninsular plateau is composed of igneous and metamorphic rocks with gently rising hills and wide valleys. Major physiographic divisions. The physical features of India can be grouped under the following physiographic divisions: the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plain, and the islands. The Himalayan mountains. The Himalayas, geologically young and structurally fold mountains, stretch over the northern borders of India. The mountain ranges run in the west-east direction from the Indus to the Brahmaputra. The Himalayas represent the loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers of the world. They form an arc which covers a distance of about 2,400 kilometers. Their width varies from 400 km in Kashmir to 150 km in Arunachal Pradesh. The altitudinal variations are greater in the eastern half than in the western half. The Himalayas consist of 3 parallel ranges in the longitudinal extent. A number of valleys lie between these ranges. The northernmost range is known as the Great Himalayas or the Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. It is one of the most continuous range consisting of the loftiest peak with an average height of 6,000 meters. It contains all the prominent Himalayan peaks. अभी डायग्राम देखो, यहाँ पे पामिर नॉट दिख रहा है ऊपर, तो पामिर नॉट से एक साइड अपन आ रहे हैं हिंदू कुश और एक साइड आ रहे हैं कुल्लू माउंटेन्स. अब यहाँ पे पूरे रेंजेस दिख रहे होंगे आपको, काराकोरम, लद्दाख एंड जास्कर, फिर ग्रेट हिमालयाज, मिडिल हिमालयाज और शिवालिक्स. ठीक है, इससे ना काफ़ी क्वेश्चन यूपी पीसीएस में, यूपीएससी में और बिहार पीसीएस में ऑलमोस्ट एवरी ईयर मैप के हिसाब के क्वेश्चन आ चुके हैं. ठीक है, अब ये ना इस वाले मैप को हम थोड़ा बाद में देखेंगे जिसमें अलग अलग पेनिनसुलर, प्लेट्यू, डेजर्ट और ये सब चीज़ों का पार्ट भी बताया गया है. अब हाईएस्ट पीक्स ऑफ द हिमालयाज देख लो, सम ऑफ द हाईएस्ट पीक्स. तो सबसे पहले है माउंट एवरेस्ट जो कि नेपाल में है, 8848 मीटर्स जिसकी हाइट है. नेक्स्ट है कांचनजंगा जो कि इंडिया में है, 8598 मीटर्स हाइट है, जिसके आगे का आप देख लेना खुद से. नेक्स्ट हम कंटिन्यू करते हैं रीडिंग. द फोल्ड्स ऑफ द ग्रेट हिमालयाज आर एसिमेट्रिकल इन नेचर. द कोर ऑफ दिस पार्ट ऑफ हिमालयाज इज कंपोज्ड ऑफ ग्रेनाइट. तो कोर क्या चीज़ का बना हुआ है? ग्रेनाइट का. It is presently snowbound. It is perennially snowbound, and a number of glaciers descend from this range. The range lying to the south of Himadri forms the most rugged mountain system and is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalayas. The ranges are mainly composed of highly compressed and altered rocks. The altitude varies between 3,700 and 4,500 meters, and the average width is of 50 kilometers. While the Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most important range, the Dhauladhar and the Mahabharat ranges are also the prominent ones. So Pir Panjal, Dhauladhar or Mahabharat. This range consists of the famous valley of Kashmir, the Kangra and the Kullu valley in the Himachal Pradesh. This region is well known for its hill stations. The outermost range of the Himalayas is called the Shivalik. They extend over a width of 10 to 50 kilometers and have an altitude varying between 900 and 1100 meters. These ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought down by rivers from the main Himalayan ranges located farther north. These valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium. The longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks are known as dunes. Dehradun, Kotli Dun and Patli Dun are some of the well-known dunes. Besides the longitudinal divisions, the Himalayas have been divided on the basis of regions from west to east. These divisions have been demarcated by river valleys. For example, the part of Himalayas lying between the Indus and the Satluj have been traditionally known as Punjab Himalayas, but it is also regionally known as Kashmir and Himachal Himalayas from west to east respectively. The part of Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali River is known as Kumaon Himalayas. The Kali and the Teesta rivers demarcate the Nepal Himalayas, and the part lying between Teesta and the Hang rivers is known as Assam Himalayas. These are regional names also in these broad categories. There are also regional names in these broad categories. The Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India. They are known as Purvanchal or Eastern Hills and Mountains. These hills running through the northeastern states are mostly composed of strong sandstones, which are sedimentary rocks. Covered with dense forests, these mostly run as parallel ranges and valleys. The Purvanchal comprises the Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, the Manipur Hills and the Mizo Hills. The Northern Plains. The Northern Plain have been formed by the interplay of 3 major river systems, namely the Indus River, the Ganga River and the Brahmaputra along with their tributaries. This plain is formed of alluvial soil. The deposition of alluvium in the vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalayan over the millions of years formed this fertile plain. It spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometer. The plain being about 2,400 km long and 240 to 320 km broad is a densely populated physiographic division. With a rich soil cover combined with adequate water supply and favorable climate, it is agriculturally a very productive part of India. The rivers coming from the northern mountains are involved in the depositional work. In the lower course, due to a gentle slope, the velocity of the river decreases, which results in the formation of riverine islands. The rivers in the lower course split in numerous channels due to the deposition of silt. These channels are known as distributaries. The northern plain is broadly divided into three sections. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab plain, formed by the Indus and its tributaries. The larger part of this plain lies in Pakistan. The Indus and the tributaries, the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas, the Satluj, originate in the Himalayas. This section of the plain is dominated by the Doabs. अब यूनो में देखिए, Majuli in the Brahmaputra river is the largest inhabited riverine island in the world. Do you know me next? Doab is made up of two words, do meaning two and ab meaning water. Similarly, Punjab is also made up of two words, Panj meaning five and ab meaning water. The Ganga plain extends between Ghagar and Teesta river. It is spread over the states of North India, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar and partly Jharkhand and West Bengal. To its east, particularly in Assam, lies the Brahmaputra plains. The northern plains are generally described as flat land with no variation in its relief. It is not true. These vast plains also have diverse relief features. According to the variations in the relief features, the northern plains can be divided into four regions. The rivers, after descending from the mountains, deposit pebbles in the narrow belt of about 8 to 16 km in the width, lying parallel to the slopes of Shivaliks. It is known as Bhabar. All the streams disappear in the Bhabar belt. South of this belt, the streams and rivers re-emerge and create swampy marshy region known as Tarai. This has a thickly forested region full of wildlife. The forests have been cleared to create agricultural land and to settle migrants from Pakistan after partition. Locate Dudhwa National Park in this region. मतलब ये बोल रहा है कि दुधवा नेशनल पार्क है वो तराई region में है. The largest part of northern plain is formed of older alluvium. They lie above the floodplains of the rivers and present a terrace-like feature. This part is known as Bhangar. The soil in this region contains calcareous deposits locally known as Kankar. The newer younger deposits of the floodplains are called Khadar. तो कौन-कौन से हुए? भाबर, तराई, भांगर और खादर. They are renewed almost every year and are so fertile, thus ideal for intensive agriculture. The Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is a tableland composed of the old crystalline, igneous and the metamorphic rocks. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land and thus making it a part of the oldest landmass. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. This plateau consists of two broad divisions, namely the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. The part of the Peninsular Plateau lying to the north of the Narmada River, covering the major area of the Malwa Plateau, is known as Central Highlands. The Vindhyas range is bound by the Central Highlands on the south and the Aravallis on the northwest. The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and the rocky desert of Rajasthan. The flow of rivers draining in this region, namely Chambal, Sindh, Betwa and Kain, is from southwest to northeast, thus indicating the slope. The Central Highlands are wider in the west but narrower in the east. The eastward extension of this plateau are locally known as Bundelkhand and Baghelkhand. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. The Deccan Plateau is of triangular landmass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. The Satpura range flanks its broad base in the north, while the Mahadev, Kaimur and the Maikal range form its eastern extension. Locate these hills and ranges in the physical map of India. The Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slopes gently eastward. An extension of the plateau is also visible in the northeast, locally known as Meghalaya and the Karbi Anglong Plateau. It is separated by a fault from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Three prominent hill ranges from west to east are the Garo, the Khasi and the Jayantia hills. The Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats mark the western and the eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau respectively. Western Ghats lie parallel to the western coast. These are continuous and can be crossed through passes only. Locate the Thal Ghat, Bhor Ghat and Pal Ghat in the physical map of India. The Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern Ghats. Their average elevation is 900 to 1600 meters as against 600 meters of the Eastern Ghats. The Eastern Ghats stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiris in the south. The Eastern Ghats are discontinuous and irregular and dissected by rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. The Western Ghats cause orographic rain by facing the western slopes of the Ghats. The Western Ghats are known by different local names. The height of the Western Ghats progressively increases from north to south. The highest peak include the Anaimudi 2695 meters and Dota Beta 2637 meters. Mahendragiri, 1501 meters, is the highest peak in the Eastern Ghats. Chevroy Hills and Jawadi Hills are located to the southeast of the Eastern Ghats. Locate the famous hill stations of Udgamandalam, popularly known as Ooty and Kodaikanal. One of the distinct features of the peninsular plateau is the black soil area known as Deccan Trap. This is of volcanic origin, hence the rocks are igneous. Actually, these rocks have denuded over time and are responsible for the formation of black soil. The Aravalli Hills lie to the western and the northwestern margins of the peninsular plateau. These are highly eroded hills and are found as broken hills. They extend from Gujarat to Delhi in southwest-northeast direction. Indian Desert. The Indian Desert lies towards the western margin of the Aravalli Hills. It is an undulating sandy plain covered with sand dunes. This region receives very low rainfall below 150 mm per year. It has arid climate with low vegetation cover. Streams appear during the rainy season. Soon after, they disappear into sand as they do not have enough water to reach the sea. Luni is the only large river in the region. Barchans, crescent-shaped dunes cover the larger area, but longitudinal dunes become more important and prominent near the Indo-Pakistan boundary. If you visit Jaisalmer, you may go to see a group of Barchans. The coastal plains. The peninsular plateau is flanked by a stretch of narrow coastal strips running along the Arabian Sea on the west and Bay of Bengal on the east. The western coast, sandwiched between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea, is a narrower plain. It consists of three sections. The northern part of the coast is called the Konkan, Mumbai-Goa coast. The central stretch is called the Kannad Plains, and the southern stretch is referred to as the Malabar coast. The northern plains along the Bay of Bengal are wide and level. In the northern part, it is referred to as Northern Sarkar, while the southern part is known as Coromandel coast. Large rivers such as Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna, and the Kaveri have formed extensive delta on the coast. Lake Chilika is an important feature along the eastern coast. Do you know? The Chilika Lake is the largest saltwater lake in India. It lies in the state of Odisha to the south of Mahanadi Delta. अब पढ़ते हम last the islands के बारे में. You have already seen that India has a vast mainland. Besides this, the country also has two groups of islands. Locate the Lakshadweep Island group lying close to the Malabar coast of Kerala. This group of islands is composed of small coral islands. Earlier, they were known as Lec-15, Minicoy, and MNDV Island. In 1973, they were named as Lakshadweep. It covers small area of 32 square kilometer. Kavaratti Island is an administrative headquarter of the Lakshadweep. This island group has great diversity of flora and fauna. The Pitli Island, which is uninhabited, has a bird sanctuary. अभी आते हैं हम कोरल्स के बारे में पढ़ते हैं जो काफ़ी बार यूपी PCS 2006, बिहार PCS 2001 और 2004 में पूछा जा चुका है. कोरल्स क्या होते हैं? Coral polyps are short-lived microscopic organisms which live in colonies. They flourish in shallow, mud-free and warm waters. They secrete hard rock structure-like substance. This coral secretion and their skeleton form coral deposits in the form of reefs. They are mainly of three kinds: barrier reef, fringing reef and atolls. The Great Barrier Reef of Australia is a good example of the first kind of corals. Atolls are circular or horseshoe-shaped corals. Now, you see the elongated chain of islands located in the Bay of Bengal extending from north to south. These are Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They are bigger in size and are more numerous and scattered. The entire group of islands is divided into two broad categories: the Andaman in the north and Nicobar in the south. It is believed that these islands are an elevated portion of submarine mountains. These island groups are of great strategic importance for the country. It is of great diversity of flora. There is great diversity of flora and fauna in this group of islands too. These islands lie close to the equator and experience equatorial climate and has thick forest cover. Do you know? India's only active volcano is found on the Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. A detailed account of different physiographic units highlights the unique feature of each region. It would, however, be clear that each region complements the other and makes the country richer in its natural resources. The northern mountains are the major sources of water and forest wealth. The northern plains are the granaries of the country. They provide the base for early civilizations. The plateau is the storehouse of minerals, which has played a crucial role in the industrialization of the country. The coastal region and the island groups provide sites for fishing and port activities. Thus, the diverse physical features of the land have immense future possibilities of development. इस तरीके से हमारा चैप्टर 2 कवर हुआ, जिसको हमने काफ़ी अच्छे से पढ़ा, डिटेल में पढ़ा. इसमें हमने काफ़ी सारे PYQs भी कवर करे. आई होप आपके काफ़ी बड़ा चैप्टर था लेकिन टाइम पे कवर हो गया. आई होप आप सभी को ये चैप्टर समझ आया होगा. इसमें सॉरी हम एक मैप भूल गए हैं, उसको हम देख लेते हैं जो हमने पहले छोड़ा था. ये वाला मैप देखो, हमने इसमें माउंटेन्स तो देख लिया था. इसमें रिवर्स इस तरफ दिखेंगे इंडस रिवर सिस्टम, इधर दिखेगा गंगा रिवर सिस्टम और इधर नीचे दिखेगा ब्रह्मपुत्रा रिवर सिस्टम. उसके बाद यहाँ पे राजस्थान गुजरात साइड है ग्रेट इंडियन डेजर्ट, यहाँ पे बीच में है डेक्कन प्लेट्यू और यहाँ पे एक साइड आएगा वेस्ट कोस्टल प्लेन और एक साइड आएगा ईस्टर्न कोस्टल प्लेन. ये बना हुआ था मैप में पूरा मेजर फिजियोग्राफिक डिवीजन. चलो अब हम नेक्स्ट वीडियो में मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट चैप्टर के साथ. तब तक के लिए थैंक यू.